Hello, I'm Beck. Welcome to my channel. Today we'll be drawing a D&D character based on the roll of the dice.
Let's bring out the Tower of Destiny!
So we have a Tiefling who is multi-classed between Cleric and Bard. And if you've seen my other videos, you'll know that normally when I roll a multi-class on the table that I made up, I'll just take the two closest classes to that line. But this time I chose Bard because I haven't done it in a while, and I realized if I'm just going to do multi-classes based on which two classes are above and below that line, I'll never be able to multi-class with Bard. So I might change up the table at some point, but today we're doing a Cleric Bard. And I'll get to what that means in a minute. But Tiefling, I do love a Tiefling. They're so mysterious and beloved because they're kind of an underdog character usually. To be a Tiefling, it means you have an infernal bloodline. That doesn't necessarily mean that you have a demon or devil as a direct parent or anything, although I like to play it that way because it makes for fun roleplay. It can just mean that somewhere in your distant ancestry there was some sort of demon or devil, or maybe even a really powerful curse. In any case, people can be very suspicious in games of Tieflings because of the idea that having infernal blood makes you just evil, like you were born to be evil, when in reality it kind of just means that you have some demonic physical appearances like horns and a tail, and sometimes you don't have a pupil or anything, you just have a solid colored eye. I drew this character with her eyes closed, so I didn't really think that far ahead, but I think when her eyes are open they'd just be maybe solid gold or maybe white. Anyway, if you're a Tiefling, you get the racial traits of +2 to charisma, +1 to intelligence, dark vision, hellish resistance, and infernal legacy. Now, hellish resistance means that you have resistance to all fire damage, which can come in very handy in a campaign. And infernal legacy means you learn the thaumaturgy cantrip, and I think at a different level you also learn hellish rebuke spell. And hellish rebuke is a spell that you cast in retaliation after someone has caused you damage. So basically it says you point your finger and the creature that damaged you is momentarily surrounded by hellish flames. The creature must make a dexterity saving throw. If it fails the throw, it takes 2d10 fire damage and half as much damage if it saves. So either way it takes some damage, which is always a great spell to have in your arsenal. Now, clerics, they serve some sort of god. They're described as intermediaries between the mortal world and the distant planes of the gods, and because there are so many gods in the D&D multiverse, I don't know why I said that weird, multiverse, what was I talking about? Yeah, there's a lot of different gods, and I'm going to say that to tie in with the bard status of this character, who I'm going to call Tina has chosen to follow a god who is all about life and dancing and love and joy and music. So I decided that the god she would follow, or goddess rather, is Lliira. The followers of that faith are traditionally called joy bringers, and I think that works really, really well for someone who has the music in them. And naturally that has her following the domain of life, so life domain cleric. And That just means that life domain clerics focus on vibrant positive energy, one of the fundamental forces of the universe that sustains all life. Really fits hand in hand. So one of the bonuses, I guess you'd say, if you follow the life domain path of a cleric is you get Channel Divinity Preserve Life starting at 2nd level. You can use your Channel Divinity to heal the badly injured. Blessed Healer means at 6th level the healing spells you cast on others heal you as well. And 8th level you get Divine Strike, and 17th level, if you're lucky enough to get that far, is Supreme Healing. So just a bunch of cool stuff, really. Now, to be a bard is to be an artist. Basically, you get some cool tricks as well, such as, well, you're a spellcaster, so you get a full range of bardic spells. Probably the most famous of those is Bardic Inspiration. The official description says, you can inspire others through stirring words or music. To do so, you use a bonus action on your turn to choose one creature other than yourself within 60 feet of you who can hear you. That creature gains 1 Bardic Inspiration die, which is a d6. Once within the next 10 minutes, that creature can roll the die and add the number rolled to one ability check, attack roll, or saving throw that it makes. The creature can wait until after it rolls the d20 before deciding to use the Bardic Inspiration die, but must decide before the DM says whether or not the roll succeeds or fails. So that is a pretty great thing to have, being able to help your fellow players. There are a bunch of other things that you can do. I think there's Jack of all trades. Starting at 2nd level, you add half your proficiency bonus rounded down to any ability check you make that doesn't already include your proficiency bonus. You have a Song of Rest starting at level 2, where you can use soothing music to help revitalize your wounded allies during a short rest. Bard College at 3rd level, you delve into the advanced techniques of a Bard College of your choice. And I decided that this one would be, and by this one I mean Tina. Tina has chosen to go to the College of Creation. The description is just perfect for this character, because it mentions the Song of Creation. Bards believe the cosmos is a work of art, the creation of the first dragons and gods. That creative work included harmonies that continue to resound through existence today, a power known as the Song of Creation. For her background, I think her parents were very, very supportive. And really encouraged her to follow the path of Lliira, probably not in small part because they were aware that other people might judge her for being a tiefling. I think that they were both human, and while they were very supportive of her and didn't think poorly of her coming out as a tiefling, I think they probably encouraged her to follow the path of like pleasing others and bringing happiness to others as a strong counterbalance to the initial impression that people get when they see a tiefling. So she became a jazz performer largely because of her parental influence. Now, looking at her abilities, we have her strength as +3. So she's pretty strong, and I think that might have a little bit of her tiefling blood helping with that. She probably has to cart around a lot of instruments and help other musicians with their drums and the amps and all those heavy things that you have to deal with when you're in the biz. And that would have contributed to her strength abilities. She also just has to be really in shape if she's going to be performing all the time, and dancing is what she's all about. So she would sing, dance, play instruments, basically do anything she can to impress her goddess Lliira, who is all about having a good time. Now, dexterity, -1. I think this is a little bit funny because she is a musician, and to play an instrument requires pretty high dexterity. Regardless of the instrument, you really need to have dexterous skill. However, I'm sure a lot of musicians are well aware that you can have a very fun and catchy song that has absolutely no technical skill behind it. You can just snap your fingers or drum them on a desk and hum a jaunty tune, and that can become so much more popular than some orchestral music that's taken years and years to perfect. I'm not saying one is better than the other, but I think in this case, Tina is not so great at playing the trumpet, but compensates for it by being just very, very charismatic. And you can see that in her +3 charisma. She is a very charismatic person. She really brings it when she's on stage. Her constitution is +2, and I think that developed from a lot of late nights and a lot of practicing where she's been single-mindedly focusing on learning a new song or writing a new song, getting it down. She's forgotten to eat, she's forgotten to sleep, and the life of a musician does require a pretty high constitution. You can't get weary too easily, and your body needs to be able to put up with the strain. So that is how she managed to get that +2. Now, the +0, or just average intelligence, also makes sense. This relates to things like memory and ability to, I guess, learn new information, retain information. She has enough to memorize songs and remember people and any kind of snippet of information that would be helpful towards her music or her goals. Anything to do with Lliira, she would remember. But anything else, the names and faces of people in villages that she's just passing through, the sort of everyday information stuff that's going on in the newspapers, I don't think she would care so much about that. She wouldn't retain a lot of information in that area. Her wisdom is +2, and I feel like that goes really well hand in hand with her charisma of +3, where your ability to read people is wisdom based. So she would learn from all her experiences. She's been all over the place. She loves meeting new people and going to new villages and cities and countries even. She's all about exploring, and so she's gained a lot of wisdom from that. Now, in terms of why Tina might join an adventuring party and go on quests instead of performing, it's possible that maybe Lliira has told her, or she's just personally feeling the need to change up her routine and reach a different kind of audience. So maybe not the people who come to the shows or can afford to go and see a show if she's as popular as I think she is. I think she wants to immerse herself in adventurers and see the wilds and the places that are lesser known, and spread joy and music among people who aren't actively seeking it out. Because when you play in a venue, you're playing to people who are already in the mood to experience joy and dance and have a good time, whereas she feels she's at a level where she could bring joy to people who are just feeling down and not actively seeking happiness, and she would need an adventuring party to help her do that. So ideally not dying if she gets attacked, and keeping everyone healthy and happy along the way. And yeah, so this is Tina. What does everyone think of her? A Tiefling Cleric Bard. I do like the way the colors turned out on this one. I think they look really fun, really cool. Thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video, and I'll catch you next week. Okay, bye!